All right, we're back here. There's Bill. Hi, Bill.
How you doing?
Not only is Bill does great work on lathe and stuff, he's also a woodworker, and it's very interesting. This is the Blackman's BSSB press you
Right.
tell me about earlier.
BSSB press.
And that's dedicated to swaging. However, the threading on it is still the same as a regular press, which is the 7/8 by 14.
Right, in the top.
So in theory, you could use regular dies on it, and probably double as a reloading press if you had to. $150, I believe, is what.
150 is last I heard.
That's an amazing price. I mean, a man would be crazy not to be able to buy such a good press at that price. The savings alone. I use a rock chucker, which is also an outstanding press, but this one right here would definitely be the way to go. So tell me a little bit about this stand that you made.
This is Bill's contraption. My wife calls it Bill's contraption. It's a piece of 16-inch wide poplar, 1.5 inch thick. I have it mounted to on the back. I have a 2x4 with a hinge on it. And in the center, of course, you can see there's a big gigantic hole cut out in the center of it.
I can't help but to think what this kind of reminds me of an ironing board.
Yeah, right.
It's got the shape of an ironing board and a hinge where, like, if you had it recessed in a wall,
yeah, right.
then you can fold it down.
Out,
yeah.
It basically does that. We're going to set it up right now, quick and easy. Put it on your table, push it back, put a clamp on it, and you're ready to go. And you can sit down in my favorite chair right here and let it down. As low as it'll go. And get my foot right in here against the bottom of the press.
All right.
And you're sitting here feeding off your left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm feeding off my left hand. And then you work the press. You just pump it down through and back up. Eject it. Do whatever you got to do. Keep working off your left hand. I've seen a lot of them mounted flat, and I guess that's the way it's supposed to be mounted. But I don't know. It's just the way I mounted it.
It works, right?
It does work that way. That's the way I've always had it. And when I first got it, I hadn't seen many pictures of anybody using them. So, like I said, I just came up with this.
Well,
it works for me.
It's like I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Exactly.
And from what I've seen today, you've definitely got your own way of skinning a cat. That's pretty neat. So let's go ahead and I'll get resituated here, and we'll start with the first step, and we'll take it from there, okay? All right, we're back here, and went ahead and set the first die into the press. It was kind of tedious. It's very critical that it's set up right, so to save time, just went ahead and pre-installed it. So, if Bill, do you briefly want to explain how you set it up, or just?
I've just found, after just trial and error and a bunch of mistakes, if I bump the top punch down to, you can see when this thing cams over, and I just keep adjusting the top punch down and camming it over till I just feel the top punch bump in the bottom of the die, and just barely bump, and then I back it back out a half a turn, set it, and that's always worked good for me.
Okay, so I'm just going to pan here and zoom in. Right there's the die mounted to the top. There's the bottom of the die, and it looked like you screwed the silver portion of that into the ram below.
Yes. This punch up here actually comes down and contacts this punch. If I screw this down, this will go down. If I back it out, it'll go up. This was here, this 7/8 14 threaded. It's called a punch holder. It's totally separate. It has threads. You can move it up or down, and you can adjust this up or down to adjust the punch height.
And then the bottom part there, that actually goes into the ram.
Right. That's your actual die.
That's okay. That was the die you okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a punch inside there. You can't see it. It barely ejects up flush with the top of it. When you bring the handle up, this little pin right here catches that bottom of that punch and makes the punch stop. So when you bring the handle on up, then the punch in essence, the ram comes down, the punch stays still, so whatever's in there ejects it.
Okay, right quick, something I didn't realize and I thought was interesting, and I think you might find interesting. Bill was telling me here that with this press, you also get this one die that we did not show and talk about, which is your top punch holder die.
Punch holder, yes. Mm-hmm.
So basically, this will always stay in the press, and you just adjust it up and down for whichever top punch that you put into it. If you raise that ram up, this is the rounding. So this is what will be, and he's holding the handle, or else my finger would be squashed. But this will round over the tubing. And the bottom punch is actually located, and if you see right there, it is actually located in the die.
Right.
And this right here is what holds it in place.
Right, that's what stops it from moving.
Okay.
On your upstroke.
So with this die right now, we're going to round over to start forming the cup, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Alright, first step. I've got the dies adjusted. I've got lube on my fingers. Bullet swaging lube. I'm going to lube this round over punch up real good. Take our piece of brass tubing that we got right here. Lube it up real good. So it looks like going in. Push it down. Cam it over. Bring it back up. So it looks like. Just rounded it over. Run through a couple more real quick. This steps doesn't take very long. It takes exerts a lot of pressure, but it doesn't take very long to do. Keep plenty of lube on that round over punch. Excuse me. Keep plenty of lube on it. They don't stick.
I apologize for my coughing. I'm just getting over a cold, and I don't want to disrupt him.
Sometimes they stick like most of these have done. Might be just a little bit of a tight tolerance, but you'll see. I'll bring it back up and I'll show it to you if it sticks again. It didn't stick that time. That time it just jumped off there. So there you have it. There's 5 of them.
And you was able to do all 5 of those in really no time when you think about it.
It don't take long.
What do you say? Probably about
a minute. Probably I've done 5 of them. Less than a minute.
Alright. Now, we'll be switching out the bottom die for another die, or just the punches?
This next is Bill's invention. Not my invention, but this is just the way I seen the easiest way to do it. We're gonna gut this punch holder, gut everything out of it. We're going to screw this up in it. This is a draw die. We're going to draw the diameter of the tubing. We'll draw it down now. This is going to screw up inside of it. And then this holder right here, that's on the, this little knurled nut right here that's on the punch holder. We'll take it off, and we'll put this down in the ram and use that same nut then flipped upside down and to screw down in top of the ram to hold this from coming out and in. So in essence, it's just going to set a jacket on there and run it through there. And when it comes back down, it'll come off the stem, and then these will just keep feeding until they come out the top. If you do enough of them, I don't know if 5 of them will be enough, but if you'll just keep feeding coming through the punch holder and just fall out the top then. So you'll put one on, and when it comes out, you take it and set it and just put another one on. Just continuous then. It's just like a continuous feed draw die.
Right, so in a normal session, you would, of course, cut all your tube into correct lengths, and you'd form all operations at each step. So
right. If you wanted to make 100 bullets, cut 100 pieces of brass, or cut a couple pieces of copper tubing to length, run them all through the round over die like we just did, run all 100 of them through, then swap them out, run them all 100 of them through and just keep them all together. I found it's a little bit better that way because you can't get some of these dies adjusted to back exactly the same every time. So just to keep a batch equal, keep them all together.
Yeah, I figured that was kind of self-explanatory, but I know there's some people out there that are starting to learn, and they might be thinking, wow, if you do a little bit here, then you got to go back and keep switching out. It's going to take a long time. No, you don't. We just did 5 right quick, but normally you do a whole batch per die per time. So in essence, it really doesn't take that much. So we'll go ahead and swap this out, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, so this is the second die in the series, and let me zoom in here. That's the one that you loaded upside down into the top punch holder instead of the actual ram like your other die.
Right.
And your bottom punch is inside inside the actual ram.
Right. And it just uses the same nut that was on the bottom of the punch holder. Just use it to hold this die in place.
And this die does what now?
This is going to take it. The copper tubing is 0.375 right now, and we're going to draw it down to 0.347.
Okay.
Just going to draw the diameter down a little bit.
And they stay inside the die until the next one pushes it up until eventually it ejects out of the top of the die.
Correct.
Okay.
It's progressive like deal, or just keep going. You don't have to stop and remove nothing. You just jam them, just push them through.
Now, the lube that you're using, the Swagen lube.
Yes.
Very good lube.
Oh, excellent lube. Made by a good friend of mine.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, made by you, Tommy. This stuff works great. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Glad to help you out. I know, shameless plug, but just had to put it in there. $9 for a 4 ounce. That's pretty good savings right there, right?
Shoot, yeah. Set the jacket on her upside down. I don't know how hard it is or how easy it is to see.
Yeah, I'm getting it zoomed in there for you. All right.
Okay. Then we're going to ease it up into the draw die, and I'm going to just make sure it's centered up pretty good. Push it through. That's all it is to it.
Wow, that looked painless.
No, this is not bad. The first step there, the round over die, that's the most pressure you put on this press. So it's centered up again a little bit. And don't lube them up and send them through. And we're not going to get to see any come out the top. 5's not enough. But if you just keep on, they'll just start falling out the top, and you can pick up another one, put it on, and when you push it through, want to come up, you just grab it, set it down, pick up another one, put it on, and you just keep the process going. But 5's not enough to get them to come all the way out the top.
Well, basically, like we showed, I know you've already got some made up that we had showed before that's been drawn, and you've already annealed it. It pretty much is going to look like it went in just a little bit longer and slender now.
Right. They're going to look identical to this, except they're going to have Swage lube on them. That's the only difference. We've drawn it down. I don't have any for comparison. Actually, I do. You went from, this is the original copper tubing. So we've just drawn it down just a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see where it's smaller diameter.
Yeah, just a very little bit. That's all we've drawn it down.
Right, and so the top that you're holding in your hand is what would come out of the top of the die.
Right, they'll just keep ejecting out like this right here when they come out.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry for coughing. So the next step is going to be the flattening die.
Right. We're not going to show, of course, but we're going to take those 5 outside, anneal them, and bring them back in. And I clean them up really well. My sonic cleaner before I run through any more dies.
All right. Well, let's get set up, and we'll be right back.